Let me take a sip of my cold beverage. Ah. You see, I knew what I was getting into. I knew what I was getting into when I rented this movie for $4 yesterday and then proceeded to press play on said movie that was named Terminator Genisys. This movie's gonna... This movie almost gave me a fucking stroke. Terminator Genisys! Oh my god! Oh... So Kevin, what did you think of Terminator Genisys?
You sound very excited.
Oh, I am, for the wrong reasons. But please, what did you think of Terminator Genisys?
I'm gonna keep it nice and clean so that Tyler can have his fun. I personally thought it was alright. It's not the... It's the worst Terminator film I can say, but I can't say it's absolute shit. But I know what you're about to say, so go ahead.
Okay. This movie is horrendous. It's terrible. But it is so insane that I enjoyed it for the wrong reason. This movie is insane. The things that they do in this movie had me screeching with laughter. Now, I had never seen the trailer for this movie. I was never into Terminator back then. This is the first time I watched this movie. So, I'm aware that the trailers for this movie ruined everything. They ruined the fact that John Connor was a Terminator. They ruined that Sarah Connor was, you know, badass now, and the whole time I was different. They ruined everything. I did not watch the trailer before this movie. So, watching this movie for the first time, I was on the floor with laughter in this movie. I think I audibly screamed out "what the fuck" at least 5 times in this movie. I gotta be realistic. I don't like this movie. I don't. This movie feels like a fan film. It really does. It feels like a whole bunch of concepts and elements balled up and thrown at the screen, and the studio was just like, oh, we'll string this together, and we'll string that together, and boom, there's your new Terminator movie. I'm gonna break out in laughter a lot in this fucking review because some of the shit that happens in this fucking movie, oh my god. Oh. There's one positive to this movie. There's one. They tried something new. It's not like Terminator 3 where it's the same fucking thing over again, just with a different Terminator and altered characters. It is different. With that said, some of the things that they tried in this movie, oh my god, I don't even know where to start. Oh, oh, this movie sucks. Oh my god. I'm gonna need an ambulance when I finish this review. So let's start talking about Terminator Genisys. And yes, I took notes for this one because if I didn't... Oh... So, this movie starts in the future, like every other one, again giving me hope. It shows the new John Connor played by Jason Clarke. For now, at least. We'll get to that. So... So, it shows John Connor and Kyle Reese played horrendously by Jai Courtney. He's terrible. He's terrible. Did you like Jai Courtney as Kyle Reese? I thought he was terrible.
Nah, he seemed just blah.
Yeah, he just seemed like he wasn't trying. It was kind of like he tried being like this stoic, like, person, but it just does. That's not the character of Kyle Reese. The character of Kyle Reese was good in Salvation, and then of course the original Kyle Reese, Michael Biehn. But this was not that at all. Like, I'm not asking for an imitation. I'm just asking for like a little bit more, you know, effort, and that was not present at all. So the beginning of this movie makes no sense. Beginning of this movie makes no sense. I'm gonna tell you why. So this movie erases everything that happened in Terminator 2, 3, and Salvation. Right? That's the new timeline. Okay. So when this movie starts, first of all, the future looked really cool. The Terminators look cool in the future. Special effects on point. So the movie starts and we get a narration from Kyle Reese that basically states that everything that happened in the previous movies happened. He tells us, oh, Judgment Day happened. He tells us, oh, that we were fighting the machines. And then he tells us, oh, that John Connor rescued a bunch of prisoners, which is the literal ending of Terminator Salvation. So I need to ask myself, if you're erasing the timeline, why are you saying that these things happened? I don't understand. What is the point of that? I don't understand. That's stupid to me. It's like they wanted to go in a different direction, but at the same time they were like, well, we kind of don't want to. So we're kind of just gonna say that things didn't happen, but they really did happen. I don't know. We're not off on the right foot. 5 minutes in, we're not off on the right foot. So then, we get like Terminator action sequences. This is like this. When the movie starts, it's like that. You know, John Connor, like the end of the war is gonna happen, and they destroy Skynet supposedly, but then they reveal, oh no, they use time travel. So Kyle Reese, they show how Kyle Reese like is before they send him in time, which I like that. I like that. That was a nice little touch. So we get to him going back in time, and then John Connor gets attacked. So I was like, okay, that was weird. So then we get to the past, and we get a shot-for-shot recreation of the first scene in the original Terminator. I ask why. People really liked this. I did not like it at all. It was cool how they recreated it with all CGI and shit, but it just made no sense. I was like, why? So the movie's going as the original went. Then a fucking new Arnold showed up. I was like, what is happening? What the fuck is happening? Then they killed the future Arnold, and Kyle Reese lands in the same place as the original, and then the fucking T-1000 showed up. I was speechless. I was like, what the fuck is going on? What is going on? So then the movie plays out kind of like T2, but kind of like the original at the same time. Then Sarah Connor shows up, and she's all, you know, T2 Sarah Connor. I was like, oh my lord, what? I felt like I was on acid. I swear to God, I felt like I was on acid. Did you understand anything that was going on at this point?
No, I was just like, I was very confused on what had just happened, and the portrayal of Sarah Connor, she doesn't look like Sarah Connor if she was still in the 80s.
Which, don't get me wrong, I don't mind that, because Emilia Clarke, I think, does a really good job. People didn't like her in this. I don't know why. I thought she was really good for what she was given. But whatever. Well, what were you saying? You were saying something.
I'm basically saying like, I think she wasn't exactly what she was supposed to be in this film. Like, she doesn't look the part. She did a fine job, but she didn't look like it. She didn't look like
Aki. Like, she's not, like, realistically, she's not, like, you know, buff, like, Little Hamilton was
No, no,
in
no.
T2.
No, I know that. I'm talking like she doesn't look the age, as I'm trying to say. I don't know.
Yes, yeah. People made that complaint that she didn't look like Linda Hamilton would from Terminator 2. So, I guess that's a fair complaint. Listen, I ain't gonna lie, I'm not complaining about Amelia Clark bleeding in the Terminator movie. I'm just saying. Just saying! That was, every time she was on screen, man, this movie just got instantly better. Moving on! So then we get the new Arnold, played by Arnold, well, the new T-800, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger. I will say this T-800 is better than Terminator 3. He's not an idiot. He's not, you know, cracking jokes all the time. He cracks jokes, but when it works, I mean, when he does, to me, it works. To me, Arnold has the best humor in this movie. I like Arnold a lot. I liked him a lot better in this than he was in Terminator 3. It feels like a little bit of Terminator 2, but extended. I like that. Also, I like the relationship with Sarah and Arnold. That was really good. That was really cool. You know, people say, oh, this is what the Terminator would have been if he didn't die in Terminator 2. You know, and I can kind of see that. So, then we get a conversation with her and Kyle Reese. Again, Jai Courtney is fucking terrible. And she says, oh, we can change the future and stop Judgment Day. What? This makes no sense. Because I understand it's a new timeline. I get that. But you already tried it twice. Terminator 3 basically confirmed, oh yeah, the future is certain. And again, I know, it's a different timeline. But that doesn't change fate! Bro, regardless of what you do in one timeline, something is still as, like, likely to happen in one timeline as it is in the other. Just because you tried stopping Judgment Day and failed in one timeline doesn't mean you're gonna jump to another timeline and still do it. It's still gonna happen. That's why I don't like this movie a lot, because it repeats a lot of the same beats as the first two. And not in a good way. I don't understand. I really hate how this movie is just like, oh, we're gonna try to do we're gonna try to do, oh, excuse me, we're gonna try and stop Judgment Day. You already did that! You already did that. I understand it's a different timeline, but it's not a different movie. Well, it is a different movie, but it's not a different plot line. It's the same plot line. We've already seen it. Give us something different. And the ending of this movie is the exact same thing as Terminator 2! We're not at the end yet. So then we get to the death of the T-1000. Oh my god. The T-1000 is one of the coolest movie villains in history. It took 3 characters, an entire 2-hour movie, to kill the T-1000, right? How long does it take in this movie to kill the T-1000? 5 minutes. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. The coolest movie villain ever, probably, dies in 5 minutes. Listen, I get that they didn't think of acid in Terminator 2. I don't give a shit. It still took them 2 hours to kill him. You couldn't give the T-1000 a little bit more screen time? Granted, it already doesn't fucking make sense how he's in the movie. They explained it, it still doesn't make any sense. You couldn't give me a little bit more screen time? On top of that, he wasn't even as menacing, nearly as close as menacing as he was in Terminator 2. And the effect looked the exact same. You couldn't alter the effect at all. It did not look any better than it did in the 80s or 90s when Terminator 2 came out. It looked a little bit better. It looked shinier. That was the difference. So then, they confirmed that Kyle Reese is a sidekick in this movie. Kyle Reese is a sidekick, folks. Kyle Reese can remember different timelines. What? Kyle Reese is able to remember memories from different timelines. So not only did you water him down to be lame as fuck, now you made him an X-Men. Good job. You want to take any more diarrheas on this franchise? You already did it with this movie. It's fucking stupid. He has a psychic vision of a different time. How is that even possible? How is that even possible? Arnold briefly said, that's my issue with this movie. A lot of the things they say in this movie is like, oh, well, like they give you one answer explanation for everything. It's just like, oh yeah, he's able to do this because of this, this, and that. Okay, move on. You know what's funny? A lot of the characters in this movie say, oh, I bet you have a lot of questions. You think? I was asking questions for 2 hours of my life watching this movie. I didn't like that. I thought it was fucking stupid how he's able to just remember things from different timelines. I thought it was fucking dumb. So then they reveal that they have a time machine from the future. Let me take a sip of my cold beverage. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Kevin. When the T-800 went back in time, in the past, in the future, in the beginning of the movie, right? Did they not say that that was the first one that was ever created? Right? They said that, right? Okay, I just want to assure that I'm not losing my fucking mind. I probably am. My mind will probably be lost after this movie review is done. But I just want to confirm that I'm not losing my mind. Okay. So, how did they get a time machine from the future to the past without a time machine?
I feel like the only explanation, and it still wouldn't make much sense, the only explanation would be that they just took it off the Terminator's memory, what the time machine looked like, how it was built and all that, but even then it doesn't make most amount of proper sense with shitty.
You see? That's how you know it's fucking stupid. When even Kevin can't come up with a proper explanation. He pays more attention than I do with this shit. That's how you know it's bad. So, I put this in my notes. I don't know at what point I said this. I said, again, I ask, if this movie is erasing everything that happened, why is it somewhat repeating those events? It makes no sense. Oh, so then they reveal that the Terminator came after Sarah not when she was an adult, but when she was a child, and they sent also a T-800 back in time. And they also sent a T-1000 back in time. What the f- oh shit. Oops. Sorry, my Siri went off. And they also sent the T-1000 back in time to kill Sarah. How? I'm seriously, I'm concerned. I'm concerned with the people that made this movie. First of all, again, this goes back to what I said. You're erasing what happened, but you're not. You're just retelling it. What is the point of that? You literally said, oh, T2 never happened. Okay. But then you basically recreate it with Sarah instead of John. What is the point of that? What is the point of that? That's like... I don't even know what that's like. Oh, that's like... Okay, that's like erasing... Making a movie that erases Revenge of the Sith entirely. But then saying, oh, instead of Anakin becoming evil, Obi-Wan became evil. And the same things still happened. That's basically what it's like. You're just changing the characters in events that happened. But it still happened. The T-1000 is dead, Sarah Connor is alive, and John Connor is technically alive, even though she's not pregnant yet. It still happens. So why say it didn't happen? At the end of the day, the Terminator is still gonna go after Sarah Connor. So what is different? It's basically T2 all over again. Only the Terminator is a little bit smarter. What is the point? So then they decide, oh, we gotta go to 2017 because Skynet is releasing an app called Genisys. Yeah, real modern Paramount, real modern. Might I also add that the director of this is a Mr. Alan Taylor. Let's see what he directed. Well, what's that movie? We just reviewed it. It's the worst Marvel movie. What's that movie? Oh yeah, Thor: The Dark World. I could end the review right there by just saying that is the director. So they go to 2017, and then John Connor shows up. No, I'm not joking. John fucking Connor shows up. And somehow Sarah recognizes him without even fucking seeing him. I don't know how that makes sense, but okay. And he's like, oh, we gotta get you out. Do you remember the explanation as to why he was there before they revealed the big twist? Because I don't.
I think the only explanation I could think of is probably I think when he got attacked at that moment, we just got something.
No, I know that. I know how he became a Terminator. I just wanted to, because I don't remember. I know he told them something. He was like, oh, how are you here? Or something. And he said something. I forgot.
Yeah, I forgot too.
You know what? That's irrelevant because the biggest twist hasn't even come yet. We're not at the best part yet. We're not at the best shit that this movie takes on the franchise yet. I literally put in my notes in all caps. Okay, ... What the fuck? How in the hell is John Connor in the past LMFAO? I literally said that. And then I say, at this point in the movie, I said this movie feels like Terminator fan fiction. This goes back to what I said in my intro. This movie just feels like somebody wanted to make a Terminator movie with a whole bunch of different things, and they just smashed it, crammed it together. This feels like 5 different concepts for a movie in one movie. Oh, John Connor is a Terminator. Oh, the timeline is different. Oh, now Arnold is with Sarah Connor. That's 3 different story arcs you can have for one movie. For 3 separate movies, all in one movie. I ask why. So, so then we get the reveal that John Connor is the Terminator. John fucking Connor is the Terminator. I need a padded cell. I'm gonna need a padded cell when I'm done with this. I swear to God I am. Why? And it's not even that I hate it. It's just so absurd. Why? What is the point of making John Connor a Terminator? They did nothing with it. Realistically, did you like that he was a Terminator?
No, that made no sense at all. And they did nothing with him. It's not like, I don't know.
They literally did nothing. I would appreciate it if it made Sarah be like, oh, I don't want to kill him because he's my son, even though he's a Terminator. That would have been perfect. But no, they just have it be, oh, he's a Terminator and Sarah's gonna kill him anyway. Oh my god. This fucking movie. We're not even halfway through this movie. Oh, I think we are. I think we're at the 1 hour mark in this movie. So then I put, what? John Connor is the Terminator now? Oh my god, what is happening? So I need to make a note here. I think Jason Clarke does a very good job in this movie as the Terminator. It's a little hard to get into it because he's John Connor, but I feel like if this movie was just a straight Terminator movie and he was the new Terminator, I think I would be saying that he's fucking awesome. I mean, okay, I'm not saying it like he's not awesome. I think he does a really good job. Honestly, I do. It's just, again, it's so fucking absurd that they made John Connor a Terminator. To the point where it's like, I want to like it, and I like it when he's not her son. When they throw that thing out the window and she doesn't look at him as his son, as her son, I think the movie works a lot in terms of his arc. Because he gets to be a dick. I like that. You know, and Jason Clarke is a really good actor regardless. He was really good in the Pet Sematary remake, and he was good in whatever Planet of the Apes movie he was in. I think it's the second one. So then we get a scene, a highway chase with a bus. It's not really all that great. John Connor defies gravity in this scene by landing a motorcycle on a school bus despite there being no bridge or ledge to climb on said school bus. So I guess he just pulled the motorcycle out of his asshole. By the way, the chemistry between Jai Courtney and Arnold Schwarzenegger is fucking terrible, and I hated every scene they were in. Arnold is the only one that has legit funny lines. So then they reveal that they have to go to the Genisys headquarters and destroy the headquarters. Man, if I can only recall when I saw a Terminator movie that the finale involved destroying a factory that determined the future. Man, if I can only fucking remember. You guys get the joke.
The world's biggest mysteries.
So then we get a helicopter chase. It looks like shit. It looks like a fucking PS1 graphic cutscene. It looks terrible. I did not like it at all. We get the "I'll be back" line. Of course we do, because it's a fucking Terminator movie. What would the... God forbid we don't have the line "I'll be back" in a Terminator movie.
I'll be back.
If it's not that line, it's "Come with me if you want to live."
And I think that was set too.
It was said. That's why I brought it up. So Arnold made a joke. I don't know what the joke was, but I put it in my notes that he has the best humor in the movie.
Probably a funny joke.
It was a funny joke. It was probably at that point that I put it in my notes. So then the end of this movie happens, and they destroy the laboratory, and John Connor dies, and Arnold becomes like more upgraded than he was before because he gets dipped in liquid metal. And then the younger version of Kyle Reese is there somehow, and Sarah tells him, oh, like, just don't be afraid, basically. So then the movie ends, and we get Kyle Reese, the older Jai Courtney, going to the younger self and telling him what he remembered in his psychic vision. To which I put in my notes, so basically the whole series is a loop, because Kyle tells his younger self the same message that he remembered. So that basically confirms that the whole series is a loop. And no matter what they do, the same thing is going to keep happening over and over and over and over and over again. Right? I'm not bugging, right? That's what that tells you, right?
Yeah.
So if that's the case, what is the point of this movie? The whole point of the movie is to stop Judgment Day. But if Kyle tells his younger self that that is gonna happen, regardless, what is the point of the movie? If you have that scene, you're basically telling me, oh, Judgment Day is gonna happen no matter what. These characters are gonna keep trying to do the same thing over and over and over and over again. They're gonna fake stop Judgment Day, but Judgment Day is still gonna happen. So what is the fucking point? There's no point to this movie. It retcons a whole bunch of shit only to create like 7 different fucking plot holes that make no sense.
I feel like what they should have done was, and gone through with the original trilogy plan, the second trilogy with the whole future thing, and at the end of that third movie is the very first like 10 minutes of Terminator Genisys, when they go over there and they realize, oh, a T-800 went back in time, we have to send Carol Reeves in.
Or you could have done that, or you could have had that be like a cliffhanger for the second movie. Like, he goes back and then everything is different. And have that be a cliffhanger for the second movie.
Okay.
But don't have them do the things that they did in this movie. Or, you know what? I would probably be more accepting of John Connor being a Terminator. Number one, because we get Christian Bale as a fucking Terminator. And number two, because they would establish that them changing everything would change the past. So, you know, everything would be different. I don't know. I don't know. And then they have Kyle and Sarah kiss because, number one, they did not have sex in this movie. And that's a running joke in the movie. It got old very fast. And number two, these clowns have no chemistry at all. So when they kissed, I was like, yeah, sure. They're totally gonna be a couple, sure. The only thing I liked with them is the fact that Sarah never told him, even though we already fucking knew it. She never told him, and they didn't realize that they have to kill their son now. Which, whatever. Well, there you go. That is Terminator Genisys. Is this my least favorite Terminator movie? You're absolutely fucking right. Actually, no. I think Terminator 3 is worse than this. You know why? Because at least this movie went for it. This movie is so fucking insane that it actually went for it. You know, I can commend them for going for it. But at the end of the day, I still don't like this movie. It does a lot of shit wrong. A lot of things I'm not a fan of, and overall, I just did not like this movie. It is my second least favorite Terminator movie. Honestly, I'm over the series. I really am. I was excited, but then after seeing how this series turns out, oh my god, we're almost there. Thank you guys so much for listening to me lose my mind for however long I went on this video, probably 25-30 minutes. On Sunday, I hope we're gonna finish this series with Terminator Dark Fate, which I'm looking forward to rewatching and reviewing because I never gave you guys that review when I should have back in November. But regardless, we will be giving you that review on Sunday, and my sanity can be resumed, and I can do a franchise that I'm actually looking forward to doing after this one. Thank you guys so much for listening. Please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't. Those likes really help. They get us recommended, which, if you look at the subscriber count, we fucking need that. And yeah, just stay safe, and thank you for sticking with us through these reviews, and also check out the other reviews for the Terminator movies right now: 1, 2, Rise of Machines, and Salvation. You guys are the best. Thank you guys so much, and again, stay safe.